Hey guys, out on a bit of a nightly walk. Asked my daughter if she wanted to come out. She was cooking, so she might go out. She might come out a bit later. But this funny story came to mind. Listen, where's the street light in? Come on, there we go. But a funny story came to mind about a mate of mine back in England. Oh, come on, have a laugh with this light. A good mate of mine back in England. Well, he's my best mate. He's a brother. His family, I've known him for 30 plus years, and his name's Dave. Great guy. I'm actually going to pass this on to him because this is a funny bloody story. But I moved to the US when I was 26, so I'd already been moved over, and I was going back visiting. And this was a good few years ago now. And this fella, by the way, my mate Dave, we've been through the trenches, man. We've backed each other up on all kinds of shit, and he's like always been there for me. I've always been there for him. I've known the geezer, like I say, 30 plus years. I chefed with the guy in the kitchens, and that's how I met him, through being a chef in the kitchens. But I think I'm going to stop here. This seems like a nice little lighting area. Blimey. Those are the YouTubers out there are probably proud of me. Look, I actually found a bloody light. So anyway, I go over there this one year, and there used to be this, unfortunately not there now, but there used to be this place up in London, up in Wardour Street, called the Intrepid Fox. And if you look this place up history-wise, it's got a lot of history. Rolling Stones wrote lyrics in there. It's a heavy metal pub, basically, in the heart of London. And so we decide we're going to go up in this boozer, and my other mate was coming with us as well. My mate Tim, who freaking knows absolutely nothing really about heavy metal music, not to the degree that I knew. And so he meets us up there, and we go in this boozer, and my other mate was there too. My mate Ian was there as well. And so we get in, your regular conversation and that, and we're having a few pints when I used to drink. And I go over to my mate Tim, who, remember, doesn't know anything really about heavy metal music, and I'm like, hey, listen, we're going to play this trick on Dave. And he's like, what's that? Because Dave knew, he was about metal. And when I first met him, he was all into the metal. Funny enough, I wasn't. I was a huge reggae guy, and I've gone back to that now. But I always have been reggae, but I'm going a bit more heavier now. But anyway, so my mate Dave, he's all about the metal and the rock and that. So I go to my mate Tim, and I'm like, hey, listen, we'll play a little trick. I'm going to ask him questions, but I'm going to give you the answers, and then I know he ain't going to know the answer. So then I'm going to ask you, hey, do you know the answer? And you're going to go, oh yeah, right. So I remember one of the questions one of the questions that I can remember clearly was, who's the lead singer of Iron Maiden? And I go to mate, who's the lead singer of Iron Maiden? He's like, so when he ain't looking, I go over to my mate, and I'm like, Bruce Dickinson, and I give him the old whisper in the ear. So I say to my mate, do you know? And he's like, I can't think. I think it was Iron Maiden. It might have been another band, but I think it was Iron Maiden. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, oh wow, really? I thought you liked the music and all that. And he's like, oh, I do, yeah. I'm like, oh. So I look over at my mate Tim, and I'm like, do you know? And he goes, oh yeah. So my mate Dave's got, like, how does he know? Well, I don't know. So then I go, do you know Tim? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, who is it? And he's like, yeah, Bruce Dickinson. I'm like, oh shit, how'd you know that? He's like, I know that. He goes, how does he not know that? And we're looking at Dave, and we're like, how do you not know that? And he's like, I don't know. So I threw a few more. This was going on for a period of time where I was just throwing questions at them, metal questions like, who's this band? And it might be freaking like Rob Zombie or something playing, because it used to play really cool freaking heavy music. And I'd be like, who's this playing? And my mate would be like, and I'd be like, Rob Zombie, to my mate, Tim, and I'd be like, and I'd go, do you know? And he'd be, oh yeah. So we didn't tell him at all for about 2 years. And I went back. Oh, he'd never forgotten it. He was trying to figure it out for like a couple of years, and I'd already been back and back again. So this 1 year I go back, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a bit of an issue." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "That time when we was all up in the Intrepid and that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And he goes, "How did Tim know all those?" He goes, "I didn't have a freaking clue." He's like, "How did Tim know all those answers?" And I'm like, "I was telling him." And he went, "What?" I said, "I was telling him all you had him going for like 2 years." It's a great story. I just thought about it while I was out on the walk. Yeah, great story. Anyway, stay the course, guys. Namaste.